Hey guys, what's up, Cardfight here, and today I'm here with a updated Cosmic Hero deck profile. This is with the new X-gallop, so a lot of support from the GBT07, so it's pretty nice. And let's get right into the deck profile. So for the Star Vanguard, we're running one Grand Hop. His skill is Burst, Rest this unit. When your Vanguard is 25,000 power or more, choose one of your units, and during this turn it gets plus 4,000 power. And then when your Vanguard is 35,000 power or more, then you can move this unit to a soul, and then draw a card and counter charge 1. So it's a pretty okay card. You can still run Grand Seed if you want, but Grand Seed is he's still viable, I guess, but I kind of like this more. So how Burst works is it only works while your Vanguard reaches a certain amount of power. So for example, if it requires you to have 25,000 or more, then you can activate Burst for that unit. So yeah, there's a number stated, and you have to fulfill that condition in order to activate that skill. Alright, so next we're running for Grand Gallop. Skill is just break 2 when this card attacks. If its attack power is 22,000 or more, during this battle, this card gets 1+1 drive. And the second skill, the strike skill, the most important skill, is on your turn, if you use strategy unit on top of this card, your Vanguard gets plus 4,000 power, and a new skill, and that skill is Counterblast 1. When this card attack hits a Vanguard, you won't pay the cost. If you do, draw a card. So the draw is just a bonus. You mainly just want the 4,000 power. So yeah. Next we're running 3 Grand Mantle. He's the burst searcher for the deck, but a lot of times you're probably not going to use the search effect because I don't run that many burst units. But his burst skill is, once per turn, you can counterblast 1 if your Vanguard's power is 15,000 or more. During this turn, this unit gets plus 4,000 power, and if your Vanguard's power is 35,000 or more, then your Vanguard gets plus 4,000 power during this turn. And the search skill is just counterblast 1, so last one. When this card is placed on Vanguard circle, look at the top 5 and search for a burst unit, and then shuffle your deck. So yeah. I mean, you can use the burst skill, but in this particular build, the chance of you getting one is not that high, so I just don't recommend it. But it's fine if you want to. So next, we're running 4 Grand Revolver. It's the new triple rare in this set, and skill is Burst. Once per turn, counterblast 1 if your Vanguard's power is 15,000 or more. It should be very easy to fulfill since when you stride, you already hit that number. But anyway. Choose one of your rear guards, and during this turn, this card and that card get plus 4,000 power. It doesn't give power to your Vanguard, but it gives power to your rear guard. Keep that in mind. And the other skill is if your Vanguard's power is 30,000 or more, during this turn, this card gets a new skill, and it's when this card hits a Vanguard, you can counter charge 2, and he also has resist, so that's nice. But yeah, his counter charge pressure is very nice. And since his own skill gives power to himself, you can hit for pretty nice numbers on your rear guard circles now. So yeah, just running that. Next, running 3 Grandfire. He's the old card from GEB01. So his skill is Generic 1, counterblast 1 when this card attacks. If this card's being boosted, you pay the cost. If you do, choose 2 of your units, and it gets plus 4,000 power. They get plus 4,000 power. A lot of times you're not going to use the skill unless you want to hit for numbers, because a lot of times you're going to attack with your Vanguard first. So yeah, mainly because of how the deck works now. So right, next we're running 4 Grand Drifter. He's the Gallop support. Skill is counter +1, so +1 when this card is placed on a Vanguard circle. If you have a Gallop Vanguard, you may pay the cost. If you do, during this turn, this card gets +4,000 power, and your Vanguard gets +4,000 power. And then it gets a new skill. Once per turn, when your Vanguard attacks, if his power is 40,000 or more, then you can draw a card. So it's quite nice. Get that draw. And it's not that hard to hit 40,000, so yeah. Alright, for the great ones, we're running 4 of the old Perfect Guard. Mainly because, personally for me, I have counterblast issues. Maybe it's me playing this deck too aggressively or something. I don't know. I use the counterblast every turn at least. So you run out counterblast pretty fast. Sometimes I use more than one counterblast. But yeah. So running the Unflip instead. And the burst one, it just I don't like it that much. Next, running 3 Grand Lady. I love this card because she's pretty much a free power giver. So her skill is you can rest this unit, and then if your Vanguard, give your Vanguard +4,000 power. And then if you have a Vanguard with the burst ability, then you can give one of your rear guards +4,000 power. So basically, if you're on X-gallop, then you can just pump X-gallop, and then you can pump a rear guard too. So it's really nice. And since we are running stand triggers in this deck, you can rest her, call this thing out in front of her, and then if you get a stand trigger, you just stand this instead. So you don't have to attack with your rear guards first. Pretty nice. Next, we are running the new grade 1 in the for Cosmic Heroes. He has the burst ability. I think his name is Wagon? Is it Wagon? I think it's Wagon. No, Wagon is the old one. Grand Waikuru. Whatever. Right. So his skill is when this card is placed on a rearguard circle. Oh, Grand Vehicle. Skill is when this card is placed on a rearguard circle. If your Vanguard is 15,000 power or more, then during this turn, this card gets 4,000 power. And then if your Vanguard is 30,000 power or more, if you have a choose a Gallop Vanguard, and it gets 4,000 power. So, you know, he's I don't like him that much. That's why I'm running 2. But he is free because you don't have to cost counterblast. You just call him and you get the skill. So that's why I'm running him. Personally, I might want to bump Grand Lady up to 4 and run less of this guy. But as of now, I guess 2 is fine. Since after you call him, he's pretty much useless. So, yeah. Alright, so next we're running 2 Grand Chopper. I still love Grand Chopper. He's quite nice. His skill is once per turn, count +1. If this card is gains power, and he's 11,000 power or more, then you may pay the cost. If you do, choose 2 of your units, and it gives us 4,000 power. So you can actually combo him with triggers. So if you have him in a column, actually I'll explain it later, but you probably know what I'm going to say. And then we're running 4 Stride Fighters. Running 8 crit. Running 4 stands. This stand has a skill, and it's a generic 1. Move this card back to the top of your deck. Choose one of your Vanguards, and during this turn it gets +4,000 power and a new skill. And the skill is when this card attacks a Vanguard, if it's 30,000 power, or 37,000 power or more, then you can draw a card. And then shuffle your deck. So, you shuffle your deck after you give the skill. So, anyway. And of course we're running 4 heals. And anyway, I'll explain with the Grand Chopper. So if you have a column, something like this, if you attack with your Vanguard and you hit a trigger, if you hit a, say hit a heal trigger, instead of giving it to this guy, you can give it to this guy instead, so that you can proc a skill. So it's something to think about. It'll pump your numbers up even more. So instead of being a 5k trigger, it's actually like a 5k trigger, and then you get 2 more 4k quote-unquote triggers. So it's going to hit for an extra increment, so it's nice. Alright, for the G-Zone, actually let's not start with the G-Guardians, let's start with the normal guys. We're running 1 X Rogue. Skill is when this card attacks. Hits, if this unit is 30,000, 37,000 power or more, then you can draw a card, and then your opponent chooses one of the rear guards and retires it. So it's a retiring skill. If your opponent has like a 1 unit on the field and then it's really annoying, you can snipe it off, I guess. Running 1 X Phoenix. Again, I hate this guy's art. Yeah. Anyway, skill is what kind of lost 1 when this card attacks. At the end of the battle, if this card is 30,000, if this guy is 35,000 power or more, and during this battle, if this guy's attack did not hit, you can kind of play the cost and draw a card. So if you don't think you're gonna hit, then you're gonna just stride into this guy, attack, and then your opponent's gonna be like, "Oh, I guarded it," and then you go like, "Kind of lost 1, draw a card." Yeah, you draw a card, or I draw a card. So next, running 1 Stark Superman Omega. This is mainly a tech card. Skill is kind of lost 2, soul lost 1. When this card is placed on a Vanguard circle, you'll pay the cost if you do. Choose one of your rear guards and move it into soul, and then choose your opponent's front row loses power equal to the power of the unit you put into soul. So basically, if you have Grand Mantle on the field, if Grand Mantle on the field, you put into soul, your opponent's front row, they lose 11k. So if you're hitting for really big numbers, it'll definitely cost more for your opponent to guard. This card's not always, he's a very situational card. If your opponent has really low hand size, you might want to stride into this guy and then just cheese him. But yeah, he's pretty situational. I've used him like once, and it's not even for this deck. But anyway, next, running 1 X Falcon. Skill is Counter Loss 2. Choose a card in your hand and discard it. When this card attack hits, if this unit's power is 45,000 or more, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and put it into the damage zone. So they pretty much take damage. It's pretty nice. Again, his cost is very heavy, so he's a very situational card. If your opponent's on 3 damage or something, and they let it through, they might die. So it might be pretty value, but yeah. Who knows? Alright, next, running 4 X-gallop. Skill is Burst. Vanguard. Activates on Vanguard Circle. Generous 2. Kind of lost 1. G-flip 1 card. It doesn't have to be himself. When this card attacks, you may pay the cost. If this unit's power is 35,000 or more, you may pay the cost. If you do, during the battle, this unit gets +1 drive. And if this unit's power is 40,000 or more, then during this turn, for every face-up copy of X-gallop you have on your G-Zone, your front row rear guards will get +4,000 power. So you're going to pump up your rear guards by a lot by the time you try and do them like the 2nd or 3rd time. So yeah, it's pretty nice. The best thing is that you don't have to flip himself, so you can try this for your 2nd and 3rd stride. You can just flip something else instead. For example, like this guy or this guy if you're not planning to use them. Next, running 4 X-Tiger. X-Tiger is very good late game. His skill is Generic, choose one of your cards in your G zone and flip it face up. When this card attacks, you pay the cost if you do. During this battle, this card gets plus 4,000 power for every face up card in your G zone. And if this card's power is 45,000 or more, then this card gets an extra critical. So obviously with this deck, flipping up your units in your G zone is pretty easy. And also, if you don't have any counterblast to use, he's also a very good unit to stride into because he doesn't cost anything. But you just still get power and you can get that potential crit. Alright, let's move on to the G Guardians. We're running 1 Dismal to protect your regards. And 2 of the new G Guardian from GBD7. I think his Caribou. I think it's supposed to be Caribou though. Anyway, skill is when this card is placed on Guardian Circle, when your opponent's unit attacks and his power is 30,000 power or more. During this battle, this card gets plus 10,000 shield, and you can choose a card to discard a card in your hand. If you do, your Vanguard gets plus 4,000 power this turn. So it becomes like your Vanguard sort of becomes a 15k Vanguard for the rest of the turn. So it's pretty nice. 15k Vanguards are pretty good. And running 2 of this one from the Fighters Collection. Skill is when it's placed on a G zone, Guardian Circle. If your opponent's unit attacking is 20,000 or more, then this card gets plus 5,000 shield. So it's a 20k guard. Your opponent hitting for 20k is kind of easy. You probably won't be using a G guard unless they're hitting for over 20 something anyway. So it's not really a problem. So yeah, we're running 5 G Guardians. Not running Screw because this card is kind of a better version of Screw. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this deck profile. If I missed anything, just remind me. Finished doing a lot of stuff today, so I'm kind of tired. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. This is Kartaku, and I'll see you guys there then. Bye!